Linda Hall, standing as a Labour candidate for Stanford East and Corringham Town. Linda, why your first time standing? Why are you standing?
Well, my children have all grown up, left home. I don't run the red herrings anymore. I don't have any talent whatsoever for doing nothing, and I like to be useful, and I thought this would be useful.
So being useful, but...
Being useful to the local community. I've lived here a very long time. I've lived in since I was married. I raised all my children here. My grandson goes to school here. So I'm interested in what happens in the local community. And it's important to me, and it's very important to the coming generations.
So firstly, why Labour then? Why stand as a Labour candidate?
I've always supported Labour. Let's not pretend that any one group is perfect, because they're not. But the Labour Party has always striven to do better for other people, whereas I've always regarded the Conservatives as the party that don't want to do better for themselves, whereas Labour wants to do better for other people. So that's why I've always been a Labour supporter. I don't want to even discuss the other parties, who I find completely intolerable.
And so, out and about on the doorstep, you've been out and about certainly for the last 4 weeks, or probably not before.
Oh, a long time before that.
What are the issues?
Well, I think people are very happy that the council tax is not going up, and they're very happy that the lights are staying on, because that is a problem everywhere else. I mean, they are concerned with the frontline services. I find this whole business with the so-called merger with Dagenham to be a complete nonsense. I mean, I understand that, you know, if you've got a policy, you want to put the best shine on your own policy and the least on perhaps on your opponents. But this is just a bald-faced lie, isn't it? There is no merger between Barking and Dagenham. It's just sharing back office services. And I'd like to know where they're going to find the money that the current administration is saving by merging some of these back office services, not merging, but sharing the back office services, where they're going to find the extra money from. You know, is it going to be put on the council tax? I mean, people are finding it a hard enough struggle as it is. I mean, there are a great many people who find it really difficult to make ends meet. And the idea that we shouldn't make every effort to save money for them, I find quite insulting, really.
You mentioned the street lights, etc., which are staying on here
Yes.
unlike most of Essex. Is crime and antisocial behaviour something that's come up on the doorstep?
Well, I think people are very disappointed that the police station has been closed. The thing is that I know that people have said, the police have said, it doesn't cause any drop in response time. Well, that may be the case. If you've got a real emergency, if somebody's been strangled or beaten up in the street, it might not take them any longer to get here. But in terms of low-level crime, antisocial behaviour, all the things that most people really worry about, it really makes a difference. I think having the police station there makes people feel safer. You never see a policeman on patrol now. You never see the PCSOs around. It is very difficult for people to come to terms with the idea that the police station should be closed when we've just opened a huge pool down the road. There's talk about building around here, more buildings, so you're going to increase the population, but the police station's closed. I know that one of the Tory candidates said he'd arranged for it to be reopened. Well, this has turned out to be a complete fabrication, has it? Because it's not going to be reopened. And I think the Assistant Police Commissioner said it was likely to be sold after the current contract runs out with the youth service, which I just think is shameful, really, utterly shameful. It should be reopened.
When we interviewed your UKIP opponent last Saturday, he talked about the DP world and investment, etc., and he wanted to know where are the jobs for local people. You want to know where jobs for local people. Do you think that's a fair concern?
I think it is a fair concern, but I mean, you've got to define local for a start. You know, does he mean somebody who lives a half mile up the road, or he's talking about the whole area, or people moving? The population's obviously fluid. People move in, they move out. You've got to really define your terms very carefully here. You know, how local? Do we exclude the people from Basildon or Grays, or just how local is local? What we need is more jobs for everybody, surely.
You come across as somebody that would probably really enjoy being a councillor. If you get in, you'd
very
enjoy
much.
it, wouldn't you?
I hope so. I certainly intend to do my best. Once I make a commitment, I keep to it. You know, I do think a promise is a very important thing, and if you make a promise, then you should make every effort to keep it. It would take an act of God for me not to fulfil the promises I make.
Linda Hall, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.